Welcome back to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I've been doing a lot of great interviews, and I wanted to do this one because I think that it's very topical right now with everything that's going on during the pandemic. I got to tell you personally, me meeting new people has kind of been hindered a little bit with this whole thing going on with COVID-19. And I've tried a lot of the other dating sites, and like for example, Tinder was one thing, and then they all wanted to start charging you extra to get extra swipes or to get, moved up to the top of the list. But I like this newest thing. I got Zach. Zach, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Tuddle. How are you?
Now, the name of now, is it a website or an app? GetFilteroff.com?
It's an app.
It's an app.
Filter Off.
But you go to getfilteroff.com to download the app, or is it available in all smartphone or on all smartphones?
Yep, it's available on the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store.
Now, how long does it take? I know a lot of people rush it, but how long does it take? How much work goes into creating a good-looking app?
How much time? I mean, I think it varies from person to person. Me and my co-founder and I have been working on Filter Off now for over 2 years. We took off during the pandemic. We got out of beta 1 month before the pandemic, but we've made many pivots and added new features to increase the stickiness of the app. So yeah, it's been over 2 years to date.
So now, is it a free app or?
It's totally free.
Okay, now, so explain to people, my listeners, tell me about the app. What is the app? How does it set itself apart from all the other dating apps that are out there right now?
Yeah, so, and I'll start kind of just how it came about, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've always been into online dating, and I've used all the other dating apps. And when I would meet in person, I realized sometimes it wasn't a match, whether we didn't have chemistry or didn't look exactly what I was expecting. And I would ask women beforehand if they'd be open to FaceTiming. This was about 5 years ago. Most women would actually say no, but I really wanted the ability to make it super efficient and authentic and just see up front. And that's what inspired me to build Filter Off, which is a video-first speed dating app. We offer virtual events as well as a matchmaking service.
Now, when you're talking now, so speed dating, it's usually with a group of people, and you go from place to person to person to person. Now, like when you're talking video-wise to a person, is it a private chat between you and that person, or is it a group of people?
Yeah, so it's actually a one-on-one chat. You join a specific event, maybe location-based, it may be a themed-based event. You join that event and we will schedule your dates. So you'll have up to 9 speed dates, and it's quick. It's one-on-one. So you're in a live date. There's a timer. At the end of each date, it'll ask you whether you like each other or not, and then you go to the next one.
Now, infrastructure-wise, so you got to have some people taking care of things behind the scenes if you're setting up dates, or is it all an algorithm and set up like through a software?
Yeah, so the events themselves, we match people that are attending the event based off of their age preference and gender interest. Then we have a matchmaker service where you can take a quiz, and we keep adding new questions about things such as political beliefs, whether you want children, your radius of how far you're looking to date. We also create your likability score based off of your performance to create a compatibility score for every person that's applicable on our system. So we will schedule your dates for you.
Okay, now I just gotta ask. There's a lot of creepy guys out there. The first thing I thought of, if you're doing video chat, you're gonna get those creepy guys that are gonna pull out their Johnson or something. It's not your fault. You can't give people nice things nowadays. You know that, right? So people are always going to like F it up somehow. So have you guys thought about that type of stuff, or will they be banned automatically? Like what would happen if somebody was being a creep like that?
So the first question is, yeah, of course we've thought about, we take that very seriously. However, it doesn't happen. People, when you're on
Really?
an app like a chat roulette or a mingle, it's not tied to any user account. You can
Uh,
be creepy and then
so there's
jump
no
on another
anonymity.
day.
You can't
Yeah.
be completely anonymous on this.
Correct. It's tied to your phone number as well as your email address. So when people
Oh, okay.
realize it's their actual account and tied to something, they're going to be on their best behavior. Also, it's different being on video versus like texting on like a typical swipe app. So you're
Yeah.
behind the profile, and it's easier for people to do things that they normally wouldn't do on video because it's much more closely to related to meeting in person. So people
So,
typically, yeah.
so how long has the app been out? Like, give me a little bit of a time frame. You couple years, year,
Yeah,
like.
so a couple years, we got out of beta 1 month before the pandemic, and that's when we
Mhm.
really took off with the pandemic and people just being totally okay with video speed dating.
Yeah. Now, have you gotten any feedback, like any success stories, people that have met during the pandemic and kind of hit it off a little bit?
So yeah, I mean, I wish I knew more of them. An article just came out in Kenya of this reporter. They did this full expose, and she actually met people. We've actually created 4 marriages on Filter Off since the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
So there, and I would imagine there have been many, many other amazing stories that I'm just unaware of at the moment.
Well, that's got to be really really cool. Now, any changes, anything? Because when once you come up with stuff, like, do you have any like things or ideas that you want to do with this app and further updates when the software comes around?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, we launched 2 years ago, and it's a completely different app than it was 2 years ago. In the beginning, it was basically at 7 p.m., everyone just video dates one on one.
Yeah.
Then we pivoted to an event based app where we can run public events, but then also organizations can run their own events for their community. So it allows for a lot of trust. And then we also introduced our matchmaker service, which allows people to come back every single day. We give you 3 really curated picks based off of your preferences. And
Okay.
then we are also adding a new feature in the next couple of weeks called Happy Hour, which is a group setting, allowing you to
Oh, okay.
play games such as trivia, never have I ever. So it's really just a way to break the ice before your one on one speed dating.
Now, all right. So, like I said earlier, meeting new people has been kind of hampered right now with things going on. So, you have seen an increase when it comes to downloads right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the pandemic, it's kind of like the analogy I use is like the typical 50-year-old before the pandemic didn't know what Zoom was. Now
Yeah.
everyone knows what Zoom is.
Yeah. Of
And it's
course.
similar to online dating. And that's why we're in such a great position being a video first dating app, given that now people are just so comfortable going on video with strangers. And I'm actually surprised if someone says, I am not willing to go on a video first dating app now. It's
Yeah,
really
that is
just
true.
taken a total 180.
Yeah, speaking of apps, man, Skype's got to be kicking themselves in the ass right now. It's like we had like an 8-year head start, and Zoom has already caught our ass right now.
Yeah, they do not provide a good user experience whatsoever. You got
Yeah.
to always think
So,
about the user.
so how have things been up in New York and Manhattan? I mean, is it starting to get a little bit normal? Are people still taking it seriously, or like, are people like, screw this? I've been in this pandemic long enough.
Yeah, it's definitely normalizing. I mean, if you go to Midtown, it's a ghost town, but downtown Manhattan, Brooklyn, I mean, they're pretty, I wouldn't call them normal, but there's lots of
Mm,
people out and about. Now there's also indoor dining, which
yeah,
makes things
a
totally
little.
different as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult, and I bet a lot of the food delivery services went through the roof up there because I'm sure as bad as it was, they didn't even want you leaving your apartment, did you?
No, I mean, especially the peak, going from like mid end of March all the way
Yeah,
to June. I mean, people really weren't leaving their apartment, and yeah, food delivery was a all time high. Given sometimes you would try to place an order on Amazon, and it would be unavailable So
Oh
it was hard to get
man.
a slot even on Amazon. It was a difficult time for New
How
Yorkers.
long have you been in New York for?
So I've been living in Manhattan for a year. I was living
Mhm.
in Jersey, but I've been coming to Manhattan every weekend for the last basically 5 years.
See, a lot of people don't realize this. They think everybody like Manhattan, New York City is a big city, and people don't give a crap about other people. But I really do think it's a big city, but it does have kind of a small town feel because in that little group, that neighborhood around there, you know a lot of the people. You know the guy that works at the bodega. You know the guy that runs a newspaper stand or the hot dog guy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it really depends. Yeah, where you live. I think if you're living, I'm living in the East Village, but if you live in, which is gives that neighborhood vibe, living in places, yeah, like a Williamsburg, a Bushwick, um, Dumbo area, yeah, you get to know your local stores, your certain people that you interact with on a daily basis or weekly basis.
All right, Zach. Let's tell everybody once again name of the app, how they can get it, and I really appreciate this. I want to have you on again. Maybe I can do some videos where I go on and try it out and do like a review and everything to put it up. I think that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. That'd be awesome. Yeah, so the app Filter Off,
Mhm.
you can find it on your Google Play Store, your Apple App Store. So very accessible. And if anyone has questions or looking to create their own event for their community, they can just contact us as well.
Well, cool, Zach. If you have any other things coming up and about, I would like to keep in contact with you because you're very knowledgeable when it comes to the technology. You told me why this project is special to you, and I'm glad that things are kind of kicking off for you right now with things going on.
Thanks a lot. No, I appreciate it. And we make really cool themed events as well. So based off of timing. So
Well, keep me updated. I want to try some of them out. I would love to do a review and give my experience with on it and everything. I think it would be actually some good content.
awesome. Would love that. Would love that. Thank you so much.
All right, Zach, be safe up there, okay, man?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.